Well, we are going to, again, our topic tonight, crime and punishment. So that can cover just a various amount of things. But Rob, we were talking a little bit earlier just about the drug situation that we're seeing in our city. And you were giving some pretty astounding numbers of what we're seeing today.
Yeah, the latest stat in the Birmingham area is that 86% of everything in the judicial system is somehow drug related. It's hard to imagine. That's not just people that have charges involving drug offenses, but larceny, theft cases, domestic violence, lots of issues. The shootings we've seen, a lot of things going on, are ultimately, if you get behind what is the motivation of why is this coming through the system, it's somehow drug related.
That is,
which is amazing.
And it's at 86%.
Rob,
86%.
Yes, I want to press that
Yeah,
number.
86.
86%.
That's the latest statistic.
Almost 9 out of 10 crimes.
Correct, correct.
That's staggering.
And with fentanyl and people dying, we hear a
Yes.
lot about this. That's still going up. It's still just a crisis.
Yeah.
And that's not just America, it's across the whole world.
And you know, Rob, we've attacked it on the supply side, we've attacked it on the demand side. I mean, it's hard to find an answer for this problem.
I wish we had the answer.
I do too.
It's so major. It is so major. Well, our number 855-LAW-1955. If you have any questions for Rob tonight when it comes to crime and punishment, let's talk about a few basic things, if we can, just to start off with as we're waiting for callers to come in.
Sure.
Bail versus bond.
Well,
same thing, different?
Actually, they are different. It's a confusing term, but first thing people want to know is, well, you know, how do I get out of jail? Well, that's bail. You know, bail is what you post to get out of jail. And often we refer to people to use bail bondsmen to get you out, to post your bond. The bond is what the whole amount is. I'll give you an example, DUI, just a simple DUI. We do DUI shows a lot.
Yes.
Most of those for first time are a $1,000 bond, which is what you could pay. You could pay the whole $1,000.
Okay.
And that would assure that you would come back, you may not come back, but it's money to the court in their assurance that you would return back on an assigned court date. But you normally don't have to pay all that. You could get a bail bondsman and post only 10%, $100, which is your bail's the amount to get out, so it'd be $100, and the bond would be $1,000, which is the overall bond. You'll hear a case like, oh, they had a $300,000 bond. Well, they probably posted, you know, $30,000, roughly 10%, maybe even less to get out. There's also property bonds. Mom puts up the home, family puts up their property. There's personal bonds. There's different type bonds, but the bail is the amount you just really need to get out of jail.
And the judge sets that bond amount?
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah. And we often file motions to reduce bonds. I'll have many cases in the criminal system where it may be an elevated amount that's sensationalized by the crime, murder, obviously, things like that would be much higher. And we would file motions based on perhaps no history of criminal activity in the background, can't raise enough money. It would be unfair for the person to sit in jail for the time it takes. Because the system can take years. It can be a couple of years by the time you get to court. You get to a trial. So people have the right. The system, the Constitution guarantees that you have a right to have a bail set or have a bond set so you can bail out.
That's great. Thank you for breaking that down so simplistically for us.